I think one of the ways of academics entering the community is first of all probably by knowing, having contact with someone, maybe an academic or academia, that knows a community person or a community organization. And then they will approach that either individual or that organization with what their thought process is about what they want to do within the community. And then the process sort of starts from there.
I think every community has an organization. I don't care if it's a 501c3 or it's a church or it's somebody that takes up the issues of that community. And I believe you're going to have to pull as many organizations within a community together, because you don't want the syndrome that one organization is taking charge of the community when there's other interests in the community from another organization.
I believe that, say for instance, if someone approached me with a project that they wanted to do in the community, I would look at it, as Mr. Davis has spoken, that it is my job now, per se, to talk to other organizations in the community and bring all of the organizations to the table to say, okay, we'd like to have a meeting on XYZ day. Will you come to this meeting? Someone from UAMS, UAPB, Jonesboro, whatever organization will come, and they want to present a presentation to us about whatever the subject is. And now you have several community organizations at the table, you have churches at the table, you have civic groups at the table, you have all of those. And I think that any organization that an academic person would approach should have that same mindset, that it's just not them, that it is a community. They just happen to be the lead person that was spoken to at that time. But it's still left up to the community to say yes, yay or nay, should I say, whether they want to be a part of the project.
If you included me, and all I said was my organization, Phoenix needs this, Phoenix does that, Phoenix does, if I were tunnel vision to the point that I couldn't see the larger community as players in this, if I thought that I had all the answers, or that our approach was the best approach, and that only we could do what we do, I think that would be the first flag. It's when people say, to make it a city thing, or make it a community thing, or make it a one church thing, or make it one organization thing. I think that would be the first flag for me.
Once the organizations and persons in the community has decided for the researchers to come in, the next thing is, what are you bringing to the table?
What are the expectations? What are their expectations, and what are our expectations as community folks?
Researchers need the community, and the community needs the researchers. And it's a two-way street. And for the researchers to understand, you need us for your study. And also for the community to understand, we need this research to validate what type of program or services we need for our particular community.
And also, I think sometimes the researchers may have us thinking that we are just there for certain things, and not open it up to let us know how important our role is with them. And I think that's something we should really discuss.
Number one, I would say to an academic staff person or a person that's doing research and want to work with the community, number one, do not enter the community as though that you have all of the answers. Do not enter the community as though. And then number two, I would say, enter the community as though the community is a partner when you are a partnership with the community.
So that's a do.
That's a do. Okay? Is enter the community as though that the community is partnering, you are partnering with the community. And then another don't would be, is do not enter the community thinking that one person has all of the answers for the community.
Right.
That's true.
You know,
Or represents the community.
or represent, or even represent the community.
Community.
Right. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then the third thing I would say is do not enter the community with a separation or a division, or trying to divide the community,
right,
one side against the other, or one group against the other. You know. So then a do with there would be is give each group or each person equal weight. Academic persons, when they come to the community, need to come to the community with a do would be come to the community with patience. And my reason for coming to the community with patience would be is that even though you may be wanting to work on X project and you wanting to start working on it right away, it may take time for you to actually start working on that. So you need to have some patience with the community, because in the meantime, the community might have some other issues, ideas, and thoughts that they want to work on in order to get to the project that you want to work on, which is X. And then you might have to work on A, B, and C before you get to X. So my thought process there is to come to the community. A do would be come to the community with patience, and then a don't would be don't come to the community with a sense of urgency to rush the community in doing something. You know, don't come with a rush hourly mentality.
And to echo what you're saying, expect the unexpected as an academic, because that community may have something that you never thought about dealing with, that they need to deal with before they can deal with your research.
The idea of having a forerunner, because too often in our communities, people have pulled us together for different objectives that had nothing to do with improving our lives. You know, indirectly they may, have a spinoff or something. So I think it's important, if you're going to have credibility, and if you're going to have people that honestly participate and buy into a process, is to have some education about it prior to any conversation, because people are suspect of UAMS or ABC or XYZ coming in and say we need a group. And when you say researchers, there's an automatic disconnect between researchers, so that's a shutdown, because well, are we guinea pigs, or how's this information going to be used, and what's going to be the outcome of it, and how's that going to impact my life and my my benefits or my style of living or whatever.
I'm here because of that lady right there. I mean, this is a fact. Okay, because when it comes to UAMS, yes, I've heard of the place, I've seen the place. But other than that, but I don't know if she called me one day or ever how the story worked out. So I'm sitting here simply because she asked me. Exactly. But then I knew she wouldn't waste my time. She knew I was busy. But she knew if I could, I would try to do that.
Right.
So that's as she said, that's forerunner.
Well, what about a team member from the community work with the research project?
Well, they normally have something like community liaisons.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
sometimes sit down.
Yeah.
But how much
And
time?
that's a do. That could be a do also. That anytime a project or people are doing research, that you need to have a community liaison person. Yeah. And that community liaison person need to be a person that has, of course, is willing to work with the project, but is also willing to work and coordinate the community. So you can't be a community liaison person that says, well, they only come to the meeting when the meeting is a meeting. You have to be a person that works that effort. And if you work...
So is that a community person or
It needs to be
a
somebody
person from an academic institution?
Well, one need to be identified on both sides.
Yes, I see it on both sides. You need to have a person in the academic world and a person in the community.
Right.
And, we call them PIs and we call them whatever we want to call them, but you need to have two people working simultaneously there together.
It's about learning that the person is a person behind, again, I'm gonna say that, behind the PhDs. Because we've had experience with those letters before. But until you get to know the person, it really doesn't, because those letters don't really move me.
The first day we had the meeting in Little Rock, you know, we all came together and to meet everybody that we was going to be working with, supposedly working with. And at that time, well, I really didn't know what I was in for. So when we went into the meeting room, well, it was really pleasant. Everybody had spoke and smiled and greeted and everything. And so as I recall, I think Dr. Phillip might have been one of the last ones to come in, or she was the last one to sit, whatever. And then I realized that we were supposed to be selecting people that we were going to work with. I mean, they was however it went. And I don't remember how it was really set up, but we was finding out who we were going to be partnered with. And so I sat there and I could see everybody was just as happy and talking and smiling, and I saw a couple of smiling ladies and they were talking, and I'm like, okay, and you know, I'm really probably hoping I get one of these ladies. You know, because you really try to go for that person that with the personality of smiling. Not that to say that Dr. Phillips didn't have one, but then it seemed like to me it started at the other end of the room for me, because I was over here and Dr. Phillips sat right there almost next to me. And they started at the other side selecting who was going to be who's who. And it seemed like they already had selected. And these people were taken. And I'm like, I'm kind of looking, I said, nice, and got down to this one lady and me. And I'm looking at her, and she was really stern, and she was looking more professional, you know. Not anything bad, because it was just that I was just trying to size her up, and I said, this is who I'm going to be. I'm going to be partnered with right here, to myself. And I'm saying, well, how am I going to handle this, you know? And so, well, the conversation started and everybody introduced, and then finally I think she said something like, well, I guess we're going to be it. You know, she was going to be, because it was just only two of us left. So that's okay. Then I'm still thinking to myself as being, you know, I'm trying to explain how you connected with someone that you don't really know, you don't have any clue. You just say, and it's like when you come into community, maybe you just don't know, you don't have a clue. And sometimes I try to keep them prejudging, but sometimes that happens, you kind of think, now I'm like, now this lady here, I don't know whether she, you know, she gonna bend in it. If, you know, how are we gonna get together? Because, you know, I'm knowing my personality and I'm wondering it about her. So then that went on, and we accepted everything, and I think we had a little small talk there, and then finally, as the meeting dismissed, okay, then I still left there with some questions, you know, what am I doing here? How am I going to work this? Then I wanted to call Anna to kind of find some background on Dr. Phillips. But I did not, because I said, well, I don't want to bother Anna. I said, but I need to know a little bit more about this lady. So it went from there. And so I still had some reservations of how we was going to work together. And so we had another meeting, and that was my aha moment at that. After that meeting, she says, Miss Norman, she says, let us have a talk. And I said, okay. And then again, I'm like, what is she going to tell me? You know? And so she and her assistant was together, so we went into the room, and she just said, and she started telling me about who she was and about the relationship that she hoped that we could form together. And then she says, I want you to feel really comfortable with me, because I'm the type of person, you know, and I feel like you are too, because I don't know how she had observed something. I don't know what was going on. And she says, I want us to have a good working relationship. Maybe I'm not putting it as, you know, as she said it, but this is what I got. And she said, if you have any reservations about anything, she said, just talk to me. Let's talk to each other. And if you don't like something that I'm saying or something that you don't agree, feel free to say it. And I said, well, I don't think I'm having a problem with that, you know, back to her. And so within that conversation, I really connected because I felt like she was someone that was, as a professional, someone that I could trust, and someone that was really committed to her work because of some of the things she said. And I could tell that she had a passion for what she was doing. And then I'm like, okay, you know, I feel a little better here. And so when I left the room, I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, you just kind of misjudged. You know, you just kind of had a prejudging someone that you didn't know. So, and make a long story short, it was what we said and she said to me in that room to make me feel connected and that I could be open, and if I had a disagreement, and I bought that right there because little did she know she was just opening up the door. When she said I could say what I wanted to say and express myself, and that's the type of person I am. And when she said that, I knew I was going to push the button to the limit, you know, if we had to, you know, for the conversation and working together. So after that, I think that really made me really feel a part of what we were doing.